again, it's to me, somebody that's coming off of 4 years as being Tyson's camp admin, it comes down to
Sure,
organization. We're putting our name on this. So if we're going to put our name on
sure.
something, then it's got to be something that we can stand behind and that I feel like we would be proud of.
Hey everyone, Coach Tommy here. We are live, Smashing Plastic Podcast. Our guest today is the one, the only, Emily Taylor from the wonderful world, the metropolis of Litchfield, aka Little South Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Emily, tell everybody about, I guess we'll start super simple, who you are, while they're listening to your podcast, probably driving down the road somewhere, how they can find you, you know what I mean, a little bit about your businesses, just basically if they wanted to pull you up, who are you?
Okay. Perfect. Hey, Tommy, thanks for having me on. Good to see you. So I'm Emily Taylor. My husband and I live in Pawleys Island, South Carolina. We have two pickleball facilities here. The first one is Litchfield Pickleball, litchfieldpickle.com. And then we have a second location we just opened up in Murrell's Inlet about 6 months ago, and that's inletpickle.com. So we have 11 courts at the first facility, 5 courts at the second, and we try to focus on pickleball training. We're not into beers and food and all that. We're just pure pickleball all day long, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. And that's kind of what we do. We just love pickleball, so that's what we dove headfirst into.
Emily, I've known you for a while. You've known me for a minute. We played some pickle together. Tell everybody your background on how in the world you got into pickleball. Everybody loves to hear those stories. How in the world did you get into the beloved world of smashing a plastic wiffle ball with a paddle?
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy story, but my husband and I are both tennis players, although I didn't start playing tennis until I was in my late 30s. He was a college tennis player, and we were in Myrtle Beach one day. This was probably fall of 2015. And I said, I heard about this crazy thing called pickleball. Let's go try it. So we walked into a gym and we fell in love and have been playing ever since. For a while, we still kept playing tennis as well. He was actually teaching tennis. And then in 2016 through 2018, he had some health issues and couldn't play tennis anymore. So we just said, all right, we're going to quit tennis. We're going to go into pickleball. So we started playing all the time at our local gym, started traveling to tournaments, started really getting into the pickleball culture, and met so many awesome people from Myrtle Beach to Charleston, Florida. We've played tournaments all over. And then when COVID hit in 2020, we were, I mean, basically dragging a roll of tape and a portable deck to our church parking lot every morning and had our little COVID bubble of like 12 people that we would come and, just hit around with every single morning. And finally,
Sure.
he said, I guess this was maybe summer of 2020. He said, there's a tennis club up the road here. I used to be the pro. Do you want to turn it into pickleball? So I said, well, you're absolutely crazy, but let's do it. I mean, I'll admit I dragged my heels on it for a while. It sounded like just a crazy idea because at that point,
Sure.
not a whole lot of people were playing pickleball in Pawleys Island. But we just had the faith that it would work, and it did. And here we are 4 years later, and it's just been awesome.
Yeah, one of the things that's unique, and if you haven't played Litchfield, to my listeners, you owe it to yourself to take a trip down there to Polly's and play because they really do have something unique. And Emily, I'm gonna get you to talk a lot into that because I really
Sure.
I don't want to. I can't over promote enough to where I have been very blessed and fortunate to be director of pickleball at different places and play pickleball all over the place. What you have going there at your club is really unique and it's super warm. It's super friendly as the sport in general is, right? Which is kind of unique
Hmm.
to sports in general. But I would love it if you could. How in the world does somebody get a pickleball facility? And then I guess the biggest difference, like you've already hinted on, is what is different from, and I won't name drop any others, but you emphasize that this is a pickleball sport focused facility. You're not worried
Hmm.
about beers, you're not worried about a dining plan. You are literally, hey, we're coming to Emily and Chris's place to play pickle. So if you
Yeah.
would fill these folks in with a little, a little taste of Litchfield paddle and what you see your place being there here in the very near future.
Yeah, so like I said, we're focused only on pickleball. We want to make sure people get the best training they can. In fact, we just hired a new pro this week, so that'll be four different instructors that we've got on site. So we've got clinics, lessons, and then we just have a lot of groups that organize their own play. And if they want to come out on Friday night and have a beer, I guess bring your own cooler.
Sure.
But we just really love the sport so much that we decided we wanted to focus just on pickleball. We didn't want to, and I love those places, like that you mentioned, but
Sure.
we
Sure.
have friends that have restaurants and we don't have experience in restaurants and we didn't really want to do that. We just wanted to be all pickleball and just for the love of the sport. And we wanted to bring that to Pawleys Island. Pawleys Island is really unique because it's a beach town. And there's a lot of bars, there's a lot of live music, there's a lot of drinking. But in the evening, if people don't want to do those things, what do they do? And that's kind of what we figured out during COVID, that there wasn't enough recreational activities. There weren't enough places for people to go on a Friday or Saturday night. And that's why we felt like we needed pickleball to liven up the
Right.
Pawleys Island evening scene for those people who maybe don't want to go out to a bar every night. And we just really fell in love with the idea of bringing players into the sport who were complete newbies, and then watching them grow into 3, 5, 4-0 players, and now they're getting the tournament bug, and now they're coming to us saying, well, what about this strategy? And we really have enjoyed watching the growth of these people who were perhaps sedentary at home, or didn't have any friends, and now they've joined this wonderful community that welcomes them no matter their age, no matter their skill level, and has created this amazing community of people who not only look after each other but enjoy the sport together and make sure that everybody's inclusive. And that's one of the things that I've always loved about pickleball, that it crosses genders, athletic abilities, ages, and anybody can enjoy it. And we wanted to show the Pawleys Island and now Murrell's Inlet area that sport transcends any sort of athletic ability or capability or inability that you might have. And that you can just come out and have fun with your friends. And maybe you're going to be awesome and maybe you're not, but it's just super fun.
Right.
And that's why we love it. So,
Yeah, one of the things that's unique to your area though that I would love for you to speak in is you've got a lot of vacationers, right? Like how does that play into your business to where, here in Charleston we have vacationers, but nowhere near I
mhm.
would think like what you guys have to where, on any given basis between Murrell's Inlet and Pawleys and stuff, you guys have constant people that are in and flow. How does that work at your club? And I'm assuming because I've already witnessed this with you before, like, hey I'm going to be in your neck of the woods. Can I come play? How do you approach that? And more importantly, how cool of that is that for folks to, that are visiting you from Ohio to come down and play pickleball at, Pawleys Island and take that back with them?
Yeah, so we've been really lucky that Chris and I have made ourselves very accessible to people. So we've been lucky in that we, over the past 3 or 4 years now, have created friendships with people all over the country. So somebody looks us up on Google, or they find us on social media, or they hear, word of mouth, or however they find out about us. And typically they send us a contact form from the website, or they'll email us or call us from the website. And we really try hard to tailor make matches for people. So if we've got Johnny from Kentucky who's coming in and he says, hey, I've got a 3-5 duper. Can you find me some matches? We work really, really hard to find Johnny the matches on the days that he wants and hook them up with our members. We've got about 250 members, but we've got another couple hundred people who are just, drop in play. Like maybe they live in Myrtle Beach and they just come
Sure.
once a week or every couple weeks. So we really have a huge database of people that we pull from. So when a family of three comes in and says, hey, we're all 3, 5, 4-0 players, we need one more, we really reach into our database and find somebody that we think is going to be a match. And we spend a lot of time and are really, really proud about the work that we do there of finding people matches and making sure that when they come to Litchfield Pickle, they're completely welcomed and they feel like their money and their time has been well spent in playing a match that's of similar age and similar skill level. I mean, we just try really hard to make sure that everybody has that equal experience, and make sure that even people that are just there for a couple days feel like they're part of our membership. Um,
Right.
and we've started out. When we started out, we were basically doing it, like I said, through contact forms and through email and phone, but now we also use Team Reach. We use a lot of social media. So Chris and I really focus in on making sure we answer every single call, every single message, and no matter who that person is, we work hard to find everybody a match. So yeah, we're really
Yeah,
proud of that.
I can't attest enough to what I have seen, and it's not been a lot, but there's been, as you know, a couple times where I'm doing properties or what there, and I want to swing by and play with you guys. But I think that this will speak into, because you and I both know the franchises are coming if they're not already there, right? Like you've got these
Hmm.
big franchises that are going to try to take over the world. I really, and I'm a business guy, as you know. I think what you're doing with the organic approach, and realistically, you are so connected to the community. I think you're a staple, right? I don't think if a 40,000 square foot facility opened up 2 blocks from you, I don't think it would affect your business because of how involved you are with your crew. Like it's really neat to see. And from me, I just want to, tip of the cap to you, because I think you do, and I, of course, think Chris does an amazing job with just making me feel like you care, like
Yeah.
legitimately, like you care about, I'm going to play with us. You know what I mean? You don't want to
Right.
line me up with, what I mean, the wrong person. And I feel
Right.
like I want people in our group to hear that how much they owe it to themselves to come check your place out because of how much you guys legitimately care.
Thanks. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we kind of joke around because it in a sense we are like a matchmaker service. When
Sure.
people come in and Chris and I are the only employees. There's just two of us. I mean, we've got a couple of pros that work, like I said, but we're the ones that are there every day. I mean, we're the ones that I mean, literally, have our boots on the ground that are there working every day to make sure that everybody's having a good experience and making sure that we're getting in those touches with all of our members and making sure everybody's having a good time, and then getting feedback from those people that visit. And yeah, they may have paid us their $15 or whatever it was, but we really take pride in making sure that everybody has that amazing experience when they come to Litchfield Pickle. And yeah, I mean, we've thought about those big places that are coming in, and
Sure.
I mean, maybe it'll come to Pawleys Island, maybe it won't, but I mean, our customers and our players are so loyal to us, and we feel so strongly that what we've got is has really laid the groundwork for the growth of pickleball, not just in Pawleys Island, but on the Grand Strand
Sure.
as a whole. So um yeah, we're very blessed that we've been able to do what we love. And we've got the business mind of Chris, and then he's also such a people person, and then I'm more of an admin detail person. So the two of us together really work together to make these matches for people and make sure that everybody has a great experience when they come down.
So with that being said, and you hinted on it, I want to share that, and I don't even know if this is the right title, but it's just so everybody knows, Emily Taylor for the longest time was, I guess, handler, pro, whatever you want to, pro extraordinary of Mr. Tyson McGuff. And I have to make sure that you get an attaboy to your dog, because he's a fan favorite here. As you know, my wife
Oh, I
loves him.
know.
Everybody that
Oh
has
yeah.
ever met Tyson loves him. Tell us the story. Tell us a cool couple stories about Tyson and that relationship, so that the folks believe that the hype is real with that dude, right? Like
Yeah,
legitimately,
yeah. He's
he is that guy. He is
he
that guy.
is he is he's the real deal. I started working for Tyson in 2020, and spent 4 years with him, and daily phone calls, daily text messages. And he is that guy. He's that guy that you see on TV, the family guy, the athlete, the coach. I mean, he is the three pillars of what he's set up his business to be. And I can't say enough about Tyson, his wife Meg, and their whole organization that just treated me like family until unfortunately a few months ago I said, look, I'd I love you guys, but I gotta focus on our business here. And I thought, for a while I could do both, but our business, as you've seen, has continued to grow.
Sure.
And I had to make a choice for our family. But yeah, I spent really 4 wonderful years working for him and running his camps and doing a lot of stuff on the side. But he, I got to say, even me as an amateur, 3540 player, and he's the pro player. He would check on me when he knew it was my tournament day. He's texting me saying, "How's it going?" Even though he might have been in a tournament the same day, he's texting me saying, "Okay, are
Sure.
you?" Are you doing this in singles? Are you staying back? Are you coming in? Are you trying this? And he's the consummate businessman, coach, and just complete cheerleader. And I mean, I can't say enough good things about how the whole MacGuffin operation set me up for success, and helped me and Chris really work hard on our business. And when it was time for me to go, they understood. And I miss it, but it was one of those great life experiences that I had. So he's definitely the real deal. He's the dog. And I'm he'll be my favorite forever.
Yeah.
So
Get ready to dive into a world of greatness with Smashing Plastic Pickleball. Elevate your game and look good doing it. From beginners to pros, we've got gear for every player. But that's not all. Planning an event? Let our experienced team make it a smashing success. Want to improve your skills? Our certified PPR professionals offer top-notch coaching, clinics, and lessons for all levels. Don't you wait. Experience the greatness of Smashing Plastic Pickleball today. Visit our store, join our events, and unleash your pickleball passion.
Yeah, he's definitely got such a magnetism. But I was listening to his podcast, and this was one from a while ago. Because and by the way, I think he has a great pod. I think he does a good job on them. But he had somebody on, and it was somebody that is a mental coach or whatever, and they were
hmm
talking about the strength of how a lot of times your elite athletes are not necessarily good coaches, right? Because they're
right.
born with this amazing gift, you know what I mean, that they can do that is honestly just better than the mass majority of people around them.
hmm
But Tyson, although I would never take anything away from him as far as a pickleball player, because I really do think he is a top five player, I think he's going to be a top five coach. Like the
Oh, for
way that
sure.
he delivers and comes across, and as you know, with me being a coach's coach, like the ability for him to palate and, like you said, to legitimately bona fide text you at your 3-5 tournament is the special sauce that most coaches don't have that. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it's so transactional. You know what I mean? Like nowadays, and I see it really bad in travel baseball to where it's so transactional that these guys just go from team to team to team to team, and they really never have anybody that has a vested interest in
hmm
you as the player. Like,
Right.
how are you feeling? And I feel like for me, all of the videos, even when I was, I was director at LTP, like I would literally start my day by watching his how-to videos because I appreciate the how-to, but I appreciate the delivery of what he's doing way more so than the X's and
hmm
O's. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. And that's, I think, one of the most magical things about Tyson, that he has. I mean, he's not only a top 5 player, but he is that coach that people look up to. And I've seen it time and time again where somebody came to his camp in 2020 or 2021, and then they come again in 2024, and he remembers them. And he's like, "Hey, Ann, how's your drop going? Last time I saw you, you were having trouble with it. Now, are you following these steps?" And he really takes such interest in all of his campers and all of his fans. And I think that's what makes him so magnetic, and the reason that people feel like they can come up to him and talk to him and get his autograph or get his photograph or whatever it is at a tournament, because he's that guy that wants to be there for his fans and for his students. And I think no matter what happens in his pro career, I mean, I know, we're all getting older, and we're all going to have to play senior pro at
Sure,
some point.
sure,
I don't
sure.
know if Tyson will ever play senior pro, or if he'll just transition into being a coach, or what he'll do. But I think that no matter what he decides in his career, whatever it is, it's just going to be, he's made such an impact on the sport, and he will continue to leave his footprint wherever it is. If he continues to play pro until he's 80, which I hope he does, or if he just
Right.
decides to go into coaching full time, which, selfishly, I kind of hope he does that too. So, yeah,
Right.
he's definitely, I mean, to me, I mean, there are obviously other pro players, especially coming up, that are younger and coming straight out of tennis and hopping right on the pro scene. But I think with Tyson, he is that one that's, no matter if you started watching pickleball in 2018 or 2024, he's been there the whole time. And
Right. Right.
I think that
Right.
he's left an indelible mark on the sport, and will always be, have that important slice of the pickleball pie, I guess, as we say. So, yeah, can't say enough
You're
good
you're
things
abs-
about him.
you're absolutely right. I want to transition your thoughts, and this is going to kind of put you on the spot, but I want your expertise on a couple things before I get you off of here. My first
Sure.
and foremost, and this is opinion only, but what do you think it? Because you and I have children that are very similar age, if not the same age.
Hmm.
I do not know how involved your kiddos are in pickle, but I know with you being a club owner, is got to be on something that you're on. What does junior pickleball look like, and what do we do in as ambassadors and as orchestrators of pickleball? How do we ensure that not just the five, the seven, the eights, but where's high school pickleball come in? And what are you doing, or what is some of your opinions on how folks that are listening can really help push the needle for junior pickleball?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we've gone back and forth on. We've offered some junior stuff. We've offered some little kid stuff. We actually have a homeschool group that plays on our covered courts every Thursday. And I don't, I feel like it's really, junior pickleball is still in its infancy. And I think that there's a lot of waiting that's going to happen there. I will give my props to PPA. I feel like they've done a great job with bringing junior PPA to the forefront and getting more kids involved. For me, and it seems like what seems to be working with kids. I mean, I've got a 14-year-old and a 17-year-old, and it seems like they, pretty much like adults, just want to go out there and have fun. So it's like, do we set up a couple courts on a Saturday afternoon and just teach them how to play and just let them go at it? It seems like right now that's what they're loving, until we find those few special kids who really, really want to focus on it and really want to make a run at, I don't know, whether it's tournaments or whether it's pro. Um, but I think the more, as with everything, the more our junior players look up to their parents, or we mirror those behaviors, and they see how beneficial pickleball is as a lifetime sport, I think that more kids will get involved. Um, I also think that with junior pickleball, there are so many more tournaments now than there used to be. And it used to be, I know when Holden, my 17-year-old, used to play tournaments, he was probably 12, 13, and a lot of adults didn't want to play with him because he was fast and he was strong and he was coming straight out of tennis. And now I feel like adults are more welcoming of kids. So I think, no matter what it is, whether you have a specified lesson plan and a strategy for teaching them, whether it's that or you just give them open court time. I don't know what it is yet, but I think that as much as we can get these kids playing pickleball, that's what's going to matter. And again, like I said, in Pawleys Island, there's not a lot of stuff for kids to do. I mean, they ride around in their trucks, they go to Sonic, they go to the river. I really don't know what they do, but I know that my
Right.
kids like coming out to the courts at like 9 or 10 o'clock on a Saturday night and hitting a plastic ball around. So,
Right.
which is better than probably what a lot of teenagers are doing when they're 17. So I think the more court time we can allocate to kids, and the more tournaments offer junior brackets, or allow them to play in adult brackets, which most of them are, I just think that junior pickleball is going to continue to grow. I love watching it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of a lot of those ideas. I do think it's gonna take, like anything, like true legitimate structure helps everything, because
Hmm.
it's a place, and it's something that's set up that people can point to. And me and you now live in a society where realistically, if the organization is done, then a lot of times that's the headache of the heartache that the moms and dads don't want to worry about, right?
Right.
Like they know
Right.
that Emily's got sports on Saturday from, and that's one of the things that we're entertaining too is who and what and how can we go to get like certain amount of courts that are set aside for, like you said, a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday
Mm-hmm.
afternoon after church, that we have high school age kids, that it can start as a legitimate rec thing, right? But then I do think it could truly evolve into a club thing. And then I think that's when you get a lot of pressure on your districts and stuff to be like, these guys are like, this is legit. Like,
Yeah.
I can't tell you, Emily, every other day when I play in Somerville, I'll try to get there around 3:30, on the way in, and
Mm-hmm.
there'll be 7 to 9 junior varsity and varsity baseball players that are playing pickleball on the court.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I know they're already doing it, and I know that with their competitive spirit, they always want to know who the best, or they always want to do what they got to do in order to be the best. But I like you. I think MLP is a huge help. I think that
Mm-hmm.
angle of MLP and the prime time and the locations that they're doing and the team atmosphere and the logos and the merch and the big personalities, I think those all help pushing the desire to be a professional pickleball player, which then ultimately starts people getting younger and younger and younger and younger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it might just be a time thing, but I definitely feel like it's something that I want to be a part of.
Yeah, and I also think, to go back to kind of the pro pickleball scene, you see Anna Lee Waters, she's 17 years old, and I think, kids can look up to her and see her as
Right.
as a model of, hey, I could do that. She started playing pickleball, but she was like 13, 14, and then I think they
Right.
also look up to players like Tyson, for example. I mean, he's a
Sure.
lot of flash, and the kids like listening to him and hearing how he talks. And I think that players that are so I guess social media friendly and out
Sure.
there making reels, and they're on TikTok. I think the more these pro players are having these TikTok accounts and creating reels and putting the music with it, or whatever that stuff that's all beyond me as a 48-year-old. But
Sure.
I
Sure.
think that
Sure.
that part of the appeal to these kids is like you're saying, the MLP style, the flash of the pros, the everything that goes along with that, and makes it the cool thing, right? So it's not the dorky sport that my
100%.
grandparents play anymore. It's now, oh, there's a
Right.
17-year-old girl who's the absolute goat, or here's this guy Tyson
Right.
McGuffin with all these tats, and he's a sharp dresser and he looks cool. So yeah, I
Right.
think all of that is going to help the growth of junior pickleball.
Last thing, and then we'll get you out of here. And I
Sure.
can't thank you enough for. I know this is a lot of good stuff, but walk me
Yeah.
through your thought process on what makes or breaks a good event. With all of the experience that you have and all of the events that you have participated in and that you do, that you
Hmm.
actually put on, I'm sure that you feel the same way that I do, that nowadays it is legitimately insane how every other third day you now have another tournament for another, for another thing, right?
Yeah.
Uh, if I'm listening to you, what am I looking for in order to do events? And then I'd love to hear your input on just what do you think makes good events that these folks should sign up for.
Yeah, so we actually just finished week and a half ago. We finished the UPA state championships, the South Carolina state championships. So the winners of that will go on to, I think they're calling it the Worlds in November in Dallas. So we were very fortunate that Southern Pickleball came in to run a 5-day event at our place. And I'll say, we've had a few events at our club. We've had a few camps. We've had a few smaller tournaments. This is the largest tournament we've had, and I will say that again. Chris and I are the owners. We're the employees of the club, the only ones. But we could not have done it without our volunteers. I mean, again, back to our membership and the family that's been
Sure.
created there. We probably had about 50 of our members that volunteered tirelessly throughout that week. I mean, whether it was bringing in breakfast for the crew, or sweeping off courts, or drying courts, or checking people in. I mean, all those tournament volunteers, to me, is the number one thing that's got to happen to make an event good. The number two thing is to have a tournament team that knows what they're doing. So we've had a few different companies come, and they've all been great. But huge shout out to Southern Pickleball. Mark and Paul do an awesome job there, and they run a tight ship, and they know what they're doing, and they come with their software and their gear, and they ran an awesome 5-day event for us. And then, in terms of the camps that we've had, again, it's to me, somebody that's coming off of 4 years as being Tyson's camp admin, it comes down to
Sure.
organization. Um, we had a level up camp earlier this spring. It was very well done. Communication, organization was excellent, and we're getting ready to have Ben John's coach, Pickleball Doctor, come in a few weeks. And I mean, same thing. He's organized, he's well spoken, and he communicates well. And to me, when we're vetting either a camp or a tournament to come, number one, I want to make sure that whoever's behind it is communicating well and well organized. I mean, those two things for me. Like if you come in and your stuff is everywhere and you're not communicating with me, or you don't have the information, then to me that's like, well, we're putting our name on this. So if we're going to put our name on
Sure.
something, then it's got to be something that we can stand behind and that I feel like we would be proud of. So we obviously, when somebody comes in to run a tournament or camp, yeah, we make a little money on that. But the most important thing to us is that Litchfield Pickleball looks good, and that people leave our event and say, hey, I just went to this tournament at Litchfield. It was awesome. Even though we say, hey, just so you know, we didn't run it. We just we just provide the facility.
Right.
But we want to
Right.
make sure that everybody knows that we at Litchfield Pickleball really pride ourselves not only on the other things that we've discussed, but the just knowing that anytime you come to Litchfield Pickleball, it's going to be organized, and you're going to have all the information. You're going to have communication, and you're going to come away with a fun, awesome event, whether you win or lose. So that, yeah, I would say organization, communication, and volunteers are to me the most important things when we run an event.
I second all of it. I think at the end of the day, there's only going to be a handful of people that walk away from each event with a medal, but there's going to be a lot of people that walk away with an experience, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And
Yeah.
if you can make sure that you set yourself up, that you make the